Hello, I'm Jacqueline Holstead, and you are listening to On Point Conversations. In this podcast series, we share creative marketing, content, and branding strategies that help your business successfully navigate the new normal marketing environment. Hi, today in my podcast, I'm going to be talking about influencer marketing. And I want to take it at a very foundational level. So when you walk away from the podcast today, you actually have steps to use to develop your own influencer marketing program or to reevaluate the program that you currently have. Now, why should you even consider an influencer marketing program? Well, it's getting harder and harder to get noticed on social media. I know that you've noticed that. And with every brand, marketer, and influencer, there's so many people fighting for your attention on these channels, on the marketing channel, social media marketing, all of those different channels that we go on, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, many. It requires really a lot of creativity and networking to make your marketing efforts worth it. So let's talk about how you get noticed on your preferred social media platforms. Well, those people and companies that are getting noticed are the ones that are looking at and getting genuine influencer relationships. So before you go out sending messages to every influencer or everybody you like on social media who you might think would be an influencer, take the time to really develop your own influencer marketing strategy. So you're not spending your time in 100 different directions, but you're spending your time being very diligent, being very organic, and being very clear about where you're going with this program. So in this post, as I said, I'm going to be talking about steps to developing your influencer marketing program. The first step, I always believe, is answering the why question. Why does influencer marketing matter? And the reason I start with the why question is because in my space, clients are going to be asking that question, whether they're outrightly asking that question or they're internally going, why am I doing this? I want to be able to answer that question, and I'd like you to be able to answer it also. Couple different reasons. One is the days that it gets very discouraging and you wonder why you're spending all this time on this program and why it's not working quite the way you thought it would and why it's taking more time than you thought it would. You have your why to go back to, why you're actually doing it and why it matters. And then also the why is good for your C-suite or any manager or person that you're reporting to that is going to want to know why should they bother putting any effort into this. Let me tell you, first of all, that influencer marketing is getting very, very popular. It's among brands and marketers. And there's studies done that found that about 90% of marketers intend to launch at least one marketing campaign with an influencer. And another survey says that 89% find influencer marketing is comparable or better than traditional marketing channels. Now, I would say it's a lot better than advertising. Advertising, as you well know, can be blocked. It's not necessarily listened to. I get out of every 3 posts on Instagram, at least it feels that way, is an ad. Or every few posts on Facebook is an ad. And I've become very good at blocking those out unless it's something that just grabs my eye, which is very unusual. So whether you have experience with influencer marketing or whether you don't, I think it's a good idea to think about it for your company. And part of the problem and what happens is, and when influencer marketing programs aren't successful, it's really because that goal and that idea of why you're doing it is not in place. So let's talk about why. Well, we talked about why. Let's talk about how you start your own influencer marketing program. The first step is really to determine your own goals. So you're not doing an influencer marketing campaign as a separate campaign. You're doing it as part of your overall marketing program. So the first step is to really look at what's your goals and clearly define what you want to achieve. Because you need to know the metrics and the success so you can, number one, talk to other people about what the success of the program was, but also for your own. For me as an entrepreneur, I want to know that what I'm spending time and money in is getting me somewhere because I have a goal for it. Another thing that really needs to be well defined before you do this, and it should be if you've got your marketing program in place, is your target audience. Who is your target? Based on your type of product or your service that you're offering, who are you needing or looking to promote to? So you're looking at things like demographics. We talked about this before in other podcasts, but let me review that. Which demographic is most likely to be interested in what you're selling? And demographics refers to age, sex, just the basic things about a person and what their demographics are. And then you also want to do and think about what their likes, their dislikes, or their preferences are as an audience, because we're people. We're not because everybody is a millennial, are they all the same? Not because everybody is Generation Z or X or whatever, are we all the same? We're not. So you want to think about what likes and dislikes and preferences for your particular audience. And then another question would be, how can you present your product or service in a way that aligns with their preferences and interests? Because again, it's all about them. Not about you, it's about them. So once you've identified this marketing niche and you've done it, you're doing this in conjunction with your whole marketing program, you're going to want to look at how your goals and intentions could differ from brand to brand. Interesting, huh? So your goals might be you want to develop a strong bond with the consumer. It's not unlike any other brand. You want to increase sales. That's not unlike any other brand. Generate quality leads, and increase brand awareness. Those are basically goals that you want to achieve. And then as you're looking at those goals, you want to identify and quantify how you'll know if you reach those goals. So depending on the niche influencer that you talk to, you can focus on any one of those goals or several of those goals. A smaller influencer who might have only 10K followers or maybe 20K followers might be more destined to bring you brand awareness than someone who might have 200,000 followers and might be able to generate more quality leads. Every brand influencer is going to serve a particular purpose, and make sure that the purpose and the goal that they're going after is clearly there and it's the same as what you're going after. See, before you ever send anything out to anybody, that needs to be very clear. The second step is find appropriate influencers. So you're going to start finding and partnering with the right influencer. They have the main ingredients that you need. Best to really research them and their followers, and follow them for a period of time. Influencers are they know more about their brand promotion and the promotions than you will know. So follow them for a while. They do tend to specialize in certain niches. You've probably seen the ones that specialize in money, investments, cleaning. So you're going to want to look at what are they specializing in, what is their niche, and then look at how those intersect with what you're looking for. Because it's really important that you find the right influencer who's talking to the right relevant niche for your marketplace. Or you're going to spend your time wasting money, wasting time and wasting effort. To select the most suitable niche influencer, you really need to know product and service and who you are going to promote to and who's buying your product. And then who they're promoting to. So you're in alignment with what they're doing, with what you want to be doing. It's also important to make sure that this social influencer is genuine and that their followers believe they're genuine and they're authentic. Because look through their content, start looking at who they're talking to, who they're aligning with, and make sure that their audience is engaged. Just because they have 10 to 20,000 followers, if nobody's saying anything and there's no engagement, then you're probably not looking at the right influencer at this time. So look carefully at your influencers, look at what engagement they're driving, what are they saying, and look at them over time. Instead of just a snapshot of a few days or whatever, take the time to really investigate what they're doing so that you, select the right influencers for what you're trying to do. Step 3, after you've selected your influencers, You need to be able to trust them with content creation. So if they're doing reviews on your product, they are going to do their own reviews. So we need to be sure that when you're working with them, they again align with what you're doing, they're engaging with the right audience, and they're spreading your message effectively. So that goes back to being clear on the type of audience you're looking for and the type of audience they're going after or they're actually influencing. Because they're going to be creating content that you won't have control over, but you want to be able to support. And you want them to be able to support their content creation so that what it's doing is putting a good light on your particular product. Because the influencer really is going to know their followers better than you're going to know their followers. So they're really in control of their content. So you're going to need to really be trusting them that they're framing your message in a way that resonates with what your audience and what your audience wants to hear. So this is really important because it becomes a trust issue. And that means that you need to trust the influencers that you've selected. If you find that that's not working, then stop the relationship pretty quickly. But in the meantime, you've already done the research. So at this point, you should be pretty clear of the best influencers for your product and service. As with any execution on a product or any execution on a campaign, you want to be sure that you're communicating regularly with your influencers. You're not just talking to them once and then going away. You're tracking what they're doing, your views, you're tracking number of likes, comments, and shares. You're keeping a close eye on the goals that you set at the beginning of the influencer campaign and how that's aligning with what you're doing. You also can determine if your influencer is driving the right results or if there's some changes that need to be made. And of course, what you want to do is reward the influencer. So they're not doing this just because out of love of your company. They might be if they really like your brand, but don't expect them to work with your brand just because you're providing them free samples or something along that line. This is their audience and they've built it. So at some point there needs to be and should be some compensation for their efforts. So if it's a monetary reward that's crucial to them, that's what you need to negotiate with them. But provide suitable compensation based on their performance and the results they're delivering. If you are really unsure of how to track those rewards and outcomes, then I can help you with that, but also you can look at the influencer platform to keep track of that. Look at what they're doing, and you might want to make some tweaks and changes. Depends on how you're working together. And of course, step 6, you're going to want to measure the outcome. So once you've successfully executed a campaign, you want to now measure what the outcome of that campaign was. It can be things that you see on your website, sales, profitability, likes, and of course there's more than likes and followers because you want those likes and followers to be engaging and buying your product or your service. So as you gain that and you work with that required data, which goes back to the goals that you set in the beginning, then you can actually see if this is the best promotion for you through this influencer, and you can do other things with them. But the results really depend on, is it working for you and is it working for the influencer? So you have really 2 things to look at. So I hope these steps help you. They're really just steps to get you started. And, keep in mind that this doesn't end when you execute a campaign because you might want to be executing more things with them. And with any content marketing program, measuring it and finding the impact of that program is really going to help you as you go to your next program and your next program and your next program, because you might be looking at this program did really well with this influencer. Now I want to try another influencer, and that's a different type of influencer. They have a different type of audience. Maybe you have a series of products and that particular other influencer focuses on more the audience that is for that particular niche that you have in your company. So again, I hope this really helps you. If you want to contact me, I'm at onpointthinking.com. I have a contact page. Just leave me a contact. I read all the contacts that I get. You can send me an email. I look forward to hearing from you. If you have other ideas that you want to talk about, or you want to talk about questions specific to your influencer campaign or planning of, please let me know. I'm happy to talk with you. Thank you and have a great day.